Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Where's my prefabs? Oh, thanks for joining. Well, so basically I'm using Rayfire, and I've created a bunch of prefabs already. So with Pro Builder I made these because, well, I needed something that could break literally. I've already created a set up the gun. Basically, at least for now, it's just the pistol. But basically the pistol has the Rayfire gun script attached to it as well. So on shoot, it triggers a game creator instruction that also uses the Rayfire shoot. So it can actually destroy stuff using the Rayfire script. So it's a really simple instruction actually. So if you check on the player, equip, where is equip? So on the pistol weapon, I just have the Rayfire script, and when we fire, I literally have a custom instruction that fires the Rayfire script as well. That way we can do damage. So I pre-fractured all of the big pieces. Like, you can't do it with glass. Like, the whole transparent material just messes things up. It's not that difficult to set up, honestly, once you basically see the scene. So really simple example. This, for example, if you want to pre-fracture that, all you really have to do is add this one, literally, Rayfire Shatter. add a material that you want to have for the inside. So I use road concrete, set the scaling for the material, then press fragment. It creates the fragmented material. Oh, it's this one actually. And then it creates the fragments, and I put a material on the inside, so that looks quite decent. Sure, there's better materials, but using this one. And then literally on the original, you which is this one, you export it and then just save the prefab of the pieces. So thanks. I don't know what time it is in Brazil, but I assume it's night. Could be wrong, but I think it's night. So yeah, that's basically how it works with Rayfire. It's actually really simple. Now what is a lot more complex, and that's why I added them to the scene to actually get a bit of an impression, is setting up these structures. So this structure is set up by pre-fracturing a bunch of pieces as well, so same as I did, but then it's using connectors basically to hold them together. So if you have a look here, I'll actually show you. It's really cool because pre-fracturing helps with performance. So that's actually really simple. Now the glass, by the way, the glass is not pre-fractured because transparent materials is really difficult. So for small pieces like the glass, it happens in runtime. So I set how many pieces I want. You can reduce that for performance, etc. This one is collapsing on stress automatically. And then with the glass, so basically it triggers on the damage of the gun script, and then it breaks. And that's pretty much how it's done. Pre-fracturing just doesn't work that well with glass. Basically anything transparent. This is transparent as well, and it struggles with that. Let me try to hit it. Oh, there we go. So yeah, whenever there's transparent pieces, it just messes up a bit. So these happen in runtime. Larger stuff that doesn't have transparency, you can do it pre-fractured, which is cool. But yeah, I kind of need to set that up. So just to show you how it works. So these are all already pre-fractured. They don't even have colliders or anything in the editor. And then the moment you start shooting, and I know this is single fire, so it will take a bit of time. The moment you start shooting, it won't collapse straight away, which normally would happen if there would be no connectivity. This one collapses on stress. So I added those examples just so I can learn from them. So this might be a bit too much on the the connectivity. But the way it works is when you look at it in runtime, if you have a look at the connectivity, basically, it's holding the structure together, and then depending on how much stress there is, it will then collapse the structure, basically. So it depends on stress or the weight or things like that. So this might have, maybe it should have collapsed already, so will be settings, but basically we'll have to do that with my buildings as well, because like, look, now it should have collapsed in my opinion. But yeah, and it will collapse once I shoot the last one, so I'll need to figure balance. Oh, it doesn't even collapse now, which it should. And there we go, it collapses. So need to find a nice middle ground where, it stays it's a game, but at least semi-realistic. So need to learn from that a bit. And this one you just saw, it's the example, one of the example scenes that just collapses on stress. So here by the where is it? I know it seems like there's tons of pieces, but you can basically have a look at how it all works. I know this is a lot. I know this is a lot actually. But yeah, there's so many good examples. There's tons of outside of just good examples, there's tons of videos explaining it. The basics are really simple, when you go to the whole connectivity stuff, it becomes a bit more complex, I'll be fair. So yeah, I now starting to replace the pieces by the prefabs I made. So these are all you know, pre-fractured, and then yeah, going to replace that with the prefabs I made. So this I'm not really original. This is really really basic actual destruction, you know, actual proper destruction just with Rayfire. And yeah, the you can also use weapons and swords and all of that, but slicing requires real-time stuff, which is costs a bit more performance. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna add that. But yeah, it's really cool. So I wasted way too much time, by the way, already on just doing a bunch of stuff with Pro Builder. I shouldn't have done that, to be honest. It was kind of a waste of time, but wanted to make sure the meshes were complete. It's day 3, yeah. On Friday I didn't do anything. It was Friday, it was a long work week, so I did nothing. And then yesterday I started with this. But yeah, time goes fast, especially when you're doing your own stuff. It might not be the smartest thing to do. But yeah, this was, you know, I try to create pieces based on existing assets, and the reason I do it all with Pro Builder myself is because I know when you destroy it, the meshes will be correct, they'll be complete. A lot of models, if you use Cinti for example, a lot of the models will not be complete models, so when you fracture them, they actually won't fracture that well, which is kind of annoying. They need to be fixed meshes. Unfortunately, that's not that common because most modelers don't build their models for you to destroy them, so they don't really have that thought in mind when they build their stuff. So yeah, it's makes it a bit difficult. So yeah, what I need to do now is replace all of this with my own stuff, and then figure out how these scripts actually work, because that's gonna be the big piece. Actually make it act like a building, but what pieces do you make act like a building? You know, it's yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do, or maybe it is, I don't know. It's been a while since I used Rayfire like this, so kind of forgot how most of it worked, to be completely fair. Door. Yeah, I agree. Pro Builder is honestly awesome. It's actually really good. There we go. So my first thing is basically made a bunch of prefabs. Oh, this is the literal door, isn't it? Yeah, it's the literal door. Okay. Should have thought of that. Okay. So yeah, it'll be interesting because I basically, you know, the door needs to go up as well. It needs to automatically go up, but at the same time, I want you to be able to destroy it. Yeah, it will be it'll be interesting. I have no idea how it's gonna work yet, but I'll get there. Is the open wall? Don't even remember my own prefabs. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Is anyone else participating as well? we go. That's better. Good. Okay, those are most of those pieces. Oh yeah, I think I saw some clips on the Discord of your submission actually. Which one did I do? Oh, it's just a big one. Okay. Might be quicker to. No. What did I do wrong? Okay, there we go. I'll just remove them. It's gonna be faster. Yeah, in case a lot like it used to be different. There used to be an asset called ProGrids from Unity. Now it's all just built in. Takes some getting used to if you're used to the original, but it's actually really nice to snap things to a grid. It's actually quite convenient. It's the divider. Oh, should have zeroed it first. What are you doing this time, Weirbus? I know your submissions are always really damn good, so I'm quite curious what you're gonna do this time. There we go. So I'm leaving them all as prefabs because I know I still need to attach some scripts to this. But if I leave them as prefabs, I can just attach it to the prefab and it'll go for everything. So yeah, literally everything will be breakable, basing it on Red Faction Guerrilla, which is, used to love that game. Really love that game. So yeah, I'm trying to basically base it kind of on that. Try to have it a bit similar. Yeah, oh, the new Unity UI stuff. Yeah, that's I'll be honest, I haven't even given that a try yet. Let's move that a bit. Cool. So yeah, need to figure out how to get these, all of this scripting basically on here. That's going to be the tricky part. Because I want, I want this entire thing to be, I don't know, do I want everything to collapse? I honestly have no idea yet. So that'll be tricky. So right now, rigid. Okay, I'll copy this over. Let's start off with the normal wall. Open the prefab. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at the amount of pieces here. That seems fine. It's pretty basic. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, get out of that. So we got the rigids. I love the VFX they have as well. It actually looks really cool. Pretty basic, but it seems to work quite well. Can of course like change the effects and things like that, but it's yeah, Rayfire's, it's really cool. Actually, if you check his the developer's website, you'll actually see that Rayfire was used for so many AAA games. Might be a different version, not the Unity version, but same, same asset. And I think according to his website at least, he also uses it. It was also used for the first Avengers movie, which is absolutely insane. Okay, so yeah, this is the connectivity gizmo. I don't think I'll use that on this, because it's just going to be a wall, so I don't think I'll need the connectivity. And the unyielding script, that's basically the bottom. Those are parts that no matter what just won't move. They'll stay fixed to the ground. So for example, for this wall, if this would all be one piece, I could have like the bottom pieces like stick to the ground. A lot of games do that, especially for walls. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll need to put all of them in one piece, so make it one tall wall. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to try it out. But yeah, let's see what happens now. It might all actually collapse the moment I start. I'm not sure. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, that's a bit quick. That collapsed literally on one single shot. That's a bit too fast. And the debris doesn't look that convincing. I'll need to mess around with that. Yeah, the collapse is a bit too quick. That's definitely a bit too fast. Okay. So one of the things you can do, I did that with the glass as well. You can add health to the components. So I'll need to figure out where. Let me make sure I do it in the prefab. But basically there's a health tag somewhere. And shooting does damage, and there we go. So maximum amount of health, current damage. Okay, so that's fine. So max damage, let's do, I don't know, 20. Just at least to get a couple of shots in, and not this very first shot just breaks stuff, because that's horrible. And it still does it anyway. Okay, I need to figure out why. With the glass, it actually works properly. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to collapse like that. Need to figure that out as well. Yeah, so especially for glass, like the unyielding can be pretty cool to basically keep the corners. I might actually try that out right now. So have a look at the unyielding script. I'm just gonna copy it over from the examples, because why not? There we go. And then window. What am I doing? There we go. Paste. So default size. Let's do 0. Okay, let's just do 1, 3. So 3.2, something like that. Just a bit bigger than the actual. Yeah, I mean, I actually made a project with this ages ago, but Rayfire has changed since and it's been a long time, so I actually just don't really remember that much. Let's do 0.2, that's fine. And then push it down. Okay, that's fine. So kind of the idea is to basically keep the pieces in place at the edges. So I'll see if I can just do multiple. There we go. Let's just at least try it out for the top and bottom pieces, just to see if it works. Because with glass you often see that, right? I mean, and it does not work. Okay, maybe I need to activate something in the script as well. Let's have a look. Rigid. So slice by blade, really cool example as well. If you check the example scenes, you can actually literally slice it, and all you have to do is attach that script to a mesh, so no collider, just to a mesh, and it will literally just slice through everything. Easiest thing to set up, and it looks really cool. I'm sure unyielding has to be somewhere here. You need to activate it, I'm sure. So I know connectivity has to be activated for connectivity, but yeah, I'm not sure. So basically for the glass, so the way I did it, and you can actually see it here, I attached this thing here. So this is the gun script, and this is the target script of the target, so where the line goes basically. And then you, in play mode, when you go into play mode, you have so the button single shot, and I'm missing it, aren't I? Yeah, there we go. So single shot, and it will then, that's how it works. And what I did is in the gun prefab of Game Creator, I just attached this and created a Game Creator instruction that just triggers those buttons, and that's pretty much it. And it works on damage. So for this one, so the gun, my gun on the does a certain amount of damage, and then this one has health of 20 and basically collapses on that. Just need to see why unyielding is working on this one and it's not working on, okay, not sure. Connectivity has to be on there as well. Okay, well, it's good that I checked. Okay, let's try that out. Didn't realize all of that needed to be attached. Still, you know, it's been a while since I've properly used this. I don't really remember. Not seeing any boxes there. Let me just add a new one to it because I'm not really seeing anything. Connectivity. Where do you set the size? I'm not blind, am I? Just not seeing it at all. It's visible here. Da, da, da. I first, there we go. I first started with GameDev years ago, but that was Unreal. Actually, the first one I used was CryEngine. Then I used Unreal Engine. And why am I not seeing the gizmo? This is really weird. Really confused. Why am I not seeing the gizmo? Let me turn these off. Something is wrong here. Yeah, then I switched to Unreal Engine, then I stopped for years, and then I switched to Unity. And Unity, it's been, I don't know, 4 years now, I think. But yeah, it's you know, it's a hobby. I wish it was more than that. So confused. Okay, well, it doesn't really seem to be working. I'll give it a try, see what happens. Otherwise, I'll need to try something else. Definitely does not work. Yeah, I'm not sure why. I'm confused. Why is it not working? Why? Where's the box? Mesh connectivity. Let's try that. Damn. Okay, that's definitely confusing. If I add it here, maybe it's related to the way it's set up. Here it's visible. Okay, that's interesting. I can literally see the connectivity. That's really weird. Okay, so it might be related to the way it's set up, so it doesn't work properly on this. That's interesting. Let's have a look. If I turn it on, I think now the problem is that the pieces now will just just instant collapses. That's really weird. So it wasn't collapsing before, it's collapsing now, so definitely messing something up. I'm just not sure what. Let's add some of those pieces. I'll do this one. Pretty sure the sizes are pretty much the way they should be anyway. There we go. 4.2 minus 1. No. Minus 2. 1.5 it is. There we go. And then the size is going to be 1.2. 1.1. Just one. There we go. Cool. So yeah, it shouldn't just collapse like that. That's definitely interesting. Let's try the opposite way as well. Huh. That's weird. Cool. Yeah, let's try it out. I copied these scripts, so normally you think they'd be good, but maybe I changed something that messes things up. No, that seems better. That's better. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Need to change that. Yeah, okay, that actually looks better. Start there. I'm just curious why it doesn't seem to work with the window at all. Because the window just collapses. That's so weird. Pretty sure I copied over everything else. That's so interesting. What if, let me try that out. What happens to this window actually in runtime? Does it create the pieces on runtime, or is it only on activation? Let's try that out. Oh, yeah, it's been a long time since I've done that. I know it's visible. I know, it's been a while since I've done it. There we go. Yeah, I'm lucky with my genes that I'm not balding. I'm unlucky that I turn gray real damn fast. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, that will be the next step, explosions. There's some scripts for that as well in the examples. At least there's a YouTube tutorial showing that. I haven't seen it in examples, but I'll combine that with the game creator logic. Like with the shooting, it's so easy. Like all of the methods they're all public methods. you can just call from. So it makes it really easy to combine it with your own scripts. It's yeah, honestly love Rayfire. It became really expensive. Like when I first bought it, like the full price I think was like $70 or $75. Now it's $190, so the price definitely went up. But you know, that's the consequence of Unity doing so many sales. Is every developer just increases their prices because there's so many sales, and most people only buy stuff on 50% discount. So yeah, no, I'm definitely not a fan of that. I wish I aged as well as Joel from Last of Us. That would be nice. Okay, let's have a look. I'm gonna duplicate it, and then try this out, see if it works. So I'm posting the values. Okay, so mesh. Let's just give it a try, see what happens. Don't think this will work because I don't think I added life to it, but hey, let's see. This is so weird. Okay, so the behavior is just really different if it's pre-fractured, yes or no. That's interesting. I think I know what it might be, actually. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I think I understand. So when you're pre-fracturing, the piece is already here, so it doesn't need to create new pieces, right? So now, when I'm shooting this, the scripts are all attached to... here we go. Yeah, they're not attached to the to anything else. So there is the problem. And the original window seems to be just destroyed, I think. I think that's what happens. Okay, well that explains it. That's why the scripts don't work, because the scripts are no longer there. And in this case, they're actually there. It's actually cool. You see the connectivity as well of the pieces, how they're connected. Can mess around with those settings. Okay, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. So yeah, big difference. Hopefully hopefully there's a way that I can, I don't know, make them the children or something. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't really see that in here. Okay, I'll need to check one of the examples for that. I'll do that later. Let's continue with the rest. So these are now set up. They look pretty decent. I'm kind of thinking, like, because it's, you know, more top-down angle, I'm not even really sure if I can't even aim for the bottom ones, but an explosion would do it, I think. Yeah, of course, an explosion would do it. So yeah, okay, fair enough. That looks nice though. Just need to change those collision effects, impacts. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty awesome. So now I kind of need to decide what I'm going to do here. I'm not sure if this works. Let me give that a go, actually. I want to try something out. So I'm going to put this all together. Let's have a look here. Okay. Instead of putting the scripts on here, let me try something. Want to see if I can make it like a parent or something like that. Prefab, unpack all. Okay, let's call it full wall. And then see if this works. Okay, let's, yeah, okay, that should be fine. Okay, so that works. That's the full size. And then I just need to change the unyielding. So -2.25 now. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe they're too small. I'll need to find it out. And then this one, 1.5. There we go. I don't know if this works because they're children of children. So yeah, let's figure out if that works. That doesn't work. Okay, so it treats them then all suddenly as one piece. Ah, that's annoying. That's really annoying. Okay, let's unpack. Yes, let's unpack. I'll put them all in one. Not sure if this is a good idea, but we'll try it out. Cool. Full wall. Let's get rid of this. So normally now this should work. Oh, I'll be right back. Cool. So there we go. Apologies for that. Let's see if this works. I really need to sort those particles because it looks a bit weird now. It does actually seem to work. Maybe they're tied a bit too much. Yeah, that's weird. Now the top is just going to stay fixed like that. Okay. Not sure why, because it doesn't in their example scene. So not sure why in the example. Let me bring that up. I literally copied over those scripts, so I'm a bit confused. Oh, it's because I have the unyielding at the top, of course. Okay, that's different. Okay, unyielding at the top needs to go away. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, and I need to sort those particles because it actually annoys me now. That's a bit too much as well with the debris. Looks really cool though. I think that's better. Just need to see how that will play with an entire house, but I think that's actually better than yeah. So now the only problem with unyielding, of course, is that those bottom pieces are going to be stuck. Then you have this. But yeah, no, that's better. It needs to be one piece basically. Okay, that's kind of annoying to mix and match those prefabs, but it is what it is. I'll do it like that. So no, that needs to go to walls. Let's create a new folder. I like to create a lot of folders. Wall 4 times 4. And where did I save you? Okay, there we go. So yeah, 4x4 wall. Just seems to make a bit more sense to do it this way. Then I can take these out. And then replace. There we go. Now obviously once this all becomes one structure, that might not, I'll have to see how that's going to work. Because yeah, obviously we'll have, suddenly we'll have a lot of pieces. Okay, first thing after this test, I'm going to change the muzzle flash things. That looks cool though. But yeah, it's definitely not there yet. Definitely not there yet. Okay, let's sort those muzzle flashes first. That's actually really bugging me right now. You just can't really see what's happening because we've got those pink materials showing up constantly. So let's have a look at the weapon. I know the muzzle flash is here. I don't know where the impact is stored. I already changed this shell. Where's the impact actually? It's a good point. Actually don't know. Huh. Yeah, actually I have no idea. So fire. I'm using Crypto's muzzle flashes, by the way. Not sure if you've ever seen those. They're not new at all, like not at all, but they're still some of the best ones. And like I want to properly integrate this as well. So let me pull it up. It's actually a really cool one. So you know, it does it based on materials. So you know, water, you'll have the water splashes. Yeah, again, it's not new, but it's still one of the best assets for this. Just need to, of course, properly integrate that so that it works with Game Creator. Yeah, I'll need to figure out how to do that, but that's for later. Just need to, I don't get it. What am I missing here? Where's the impact? Where's the impact? Not seeing any impacts. If anyone knows, definitely let me know, because I'm not really finding it. Yeah, hits gun. Okay, so that's the one. So that's what I need to replace, but just using the example weapons and modified them. Not a good practice in case you ever update stuff, but you know, it's just for the jam, so that should be fine. But yeah, I'm not seeing where the impacts lie actually. How do I not know where the impacts are? Equip. Let's have a look. Why am I so blind in this? So that's the muzzle effect. Ah, there we go. I forgot that it's now inside of this. Okay. Cool. Okay, that explains it. That's why I couldn't find it. I was thinking. Let's use one of the default ones from before, you know, because I'm not integrating it yet. Impacts. There we go. And I'll use the concrete impact. Seems the most fitting. There we go. So yeah, need to figure out how to properly integrate that, but let's see. I think that will look nicer. Definitely looks more fitting for concrete. Okay, and then the debris, I'm sure we can change that as well. Debris. So I'm fine with the pieces. Let's use the concrete, road concrete, there we go. Is that my material? No, it's this one, there we go. Cool, so that's the material I basically use for inside of most of the fractured meshes. So it's just gonna be more fitting. And there we go, that fits better. Fine with the dust, that's all good. Yeah, okay, that works. The window definitely does not work yet, but everything else, that's fine. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, okay, this kind of works. Let's have a look, because I'm sure there's a perfect example we can use to figure out how to let me make sure I save. How to do the explosions, bomb. There we go, bomb basics. Yeah, sure. Let's create a volume. There we go. I'm using HDRP, so if a scene doesn't have a volume, it just looks absolutely horrendous. So that's why I'm quickly adding it. So yeah, this is the bomb script. So bomb. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, and then restore. Okay, that's interesting. That's weird. Okay, there's limits to how much it can restore. Okay. That's kind of cool for time effects. Don't really know what else you'd use it for to restore, but yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, as you can see, it tries to put them back, but some of the pieces are still changing, so it doesn't really do anything. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's see if I need to change something for this script. So let's take this one. Let's have a look. As always, for me, the best way to learn how this stuff works is use the example scenes. It's definitely the easiest way. Based child, and we'll put it here. There we go. Okay, so that bomb is really big. Okay, it doesn't have to be that big. Cool. So yeah, this is our wall. Let's see the effect it has. So normally you'd throw it against it, so the explosion would be something like this, I guess. Let's see if that works without having to change anything. And okay, that is cool. Of course, explosions are a big thing in Red Faction. So yeah, have to make an explosion. So that'll be awesome. So yeah, I'm going to set this up. I don't know if I want to do sticky bombs or just throwable grenades, but let's set something up. Maybe both. I don't think is there a grenade example in Shooter? I'm actually not sure if there is. Shooter examples. There is grenade, okay. I wasn't sure, to be honest. Couldn't remember. Let's have a look. Oh wow, the camera sensitivity is absolutely insane. Let's change that real quick. Oh, that's fine. 1, 1. There we go. Okay, that's better. Left mouse to charge. Oh, we can make that look better. But I do like... Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, that works. We can use that. Let's have a look. So, what is it attaching? Grenade weapon. Okay. So, copy. Yeah, like I said, I like to just copy over stuff. It's the easiest way to do it. So we'll have this one. Let's space it under the player. There we go. So trigger grenade. I'll merge it with inventory at some point. Just need something functional right now. That's all that matters. So we don't need this trigger. Don't need this. Don't need this. Okay, so let's do G for now. Keyboard G. Oh. There we go. Need to be able to unequip it, obviously. So let's add some conditions. There we go. Gonna copy these things over. Yeah, not gonna do that. So, yeah, we won't be doing these things. So let's actually see how that works. For now, I'll just disable them so I can always copy them over. Love that feature, by the way. It's something in the beginning I never really used, and then realized like it's great for testing. There we go. So it's just going to do this, and then what else do I have in this one? Yeah, we'll need to set up animations as well, because you know he actually needs to be animating his hand. Don't want him to just throw. Okay, cool. So really simple. Equipped, yes or no. Okay. And then unequip. And remove the prop. And what prop is it? It's this one. Okay. Let's open up the grenade weapon. So yeah, most of these, they're not just prefabs, in case you haven't really used shooter that much yet. They're not just prefabs, they actually contain the triggers. As you can see, there's not even a model for this one, which I do like, so I am going to add a model. And I'm sure I have one somewhere. PBR weapon spec, prefabs, has to be grenades. Yeah, there we go. Cool, we'll find out how rotations etc are. So sweet, there's no mesh right in the collider. Perfect. Yeah, I'll figure out the rest later. Cool. And then of course he's throwing that grenade, so gonna guess that's the projectile. And what is attached to the projectile? So this is the grenade. Yeah, that's the grenade. Okay. Pretty sure this is a flashbang model, but that's fine. Let's have a look. There we go. I'll do the same. I'll make sure that it's lying down. Okay. $90. Something like this, and then I'll make the height the same. There we go. Close enough, I guess. Not really, but okay, there we go. Cool. Yeah, close enough. Okay, I'll remove this one. So on hit, okay, so it does the log. That's cute, and it does the explode, which is a physics script. Completely fine, nothing wrong with that. But what I need to add is this one. The bomb range. So let's add that to the model. And where's the model? There we go. No, the projectile. Oh damn it. Okay, I already lost where I was. There we go, grenade projectile. That's the one I needed. Did I not save? You gotta be kidding me. Oh well. So let's add that here. Same thing, so I'll need to create an instruction that actually triggers this. There we go, that's fine. I'm an idiot. How did I not save? Normally that automatically saves, right? I'm not complete. There we go. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, let's have a look again. Because that's a bit annoying. Projectile. Yeah, okay, there we go. So yeah, the actions on hits right now is it does this. So what I need to add is that it also creates, basically triggers the method for explode. So we don't need repair, but we need the explode method. So what I'm going to do is I already have the instruction for scripts instruction. I've already got the fire script, which is nice. I'm going to use that as a foundation. This is something so simple. Definitely use ChatGPT for this. In case you don't, definitely do it. Hi. And I'm one of those weirdos that actually says hello to ChatGPT every time, because you never know. Got the script. Okay. Cool. Let's take this bomb script, edit, and let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. Like, you never know. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen that meme of, like, you know, Terminator in future type, and then, you know, they're like, oh no, not him, he was nice to us. I doubt that's gonna happen, but you never know. Let's do an empty script. Cool. See if that works. Now first let's see if the throwing actually works, and of course I need to, I'm not paying attention. Need to make sure this actually, the projectile works. Ray fire, explode, there we go. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you use AI for some custom scripts? That's crazy if you don't. I mean, I'm saying that. But yeah, no, of course you can. Like, you know, the goal is to use Game Creator, of course, to create the game. But yeah, why wouldn't you use AI for some custom scripts? It's such a time saver. You have limited time, so instead of trying to figure that out yourself, yeah, I definitely recommend using that. Most people will use it anyway, but it's all, even just for brainstorming, which is why it's really nice. Which button? Oh yeah, G. Okay, let's have a look. I'm not Can't remember last time I actually used, if I ever used the grenade in the melee. Okay, let's see. G. Okay, I need to change that. I'm pretty sure it worked based on the pieces going there. Yeah, that worked. Just definitely need to change the mechanic, because that was weird. Yeah. So it needs to do sort of the line and then throw it based on the line, but there we go. It's just not working for top down, is it? Okay, fair enough. I'll need to change that. Cool. The explosions, do I have some nice explosions as well? Don't know. I don't think Crypto's pack came with explosions. So let's have a look in my collection if I have something for explosions. Using HCRP as well, so when it comes to VFX, not everything works for HCRP. There we go. I've got this one. That seems absolutely perfect. Yeah, cool. Let's get that one. And I'll use that. So instead of just, you know, upgrading the existing materials, which most normal people would do, yeah, sure. I just prefer to use, you know, good assets on the store. Okay, don't need to bring this up every time. There we go. Let's have a look. It's Hovel Studios. Not really sure how this it automatically detects that I have HCRP. That's weird. Okay, that's great. That's most likely a bit more realistic for a grenade. Yeah, I think I'll go with 4. Playtime doesn't have to be too long. Like, you don't expect like a, you know, you don't have to do like a gameplay loop of, okay, let's just pick this one. A gameplay loop of, you know, a couple of hours. You definitely don't have to do that. Just make sure that the amount of time you have is fun and engaging, and, you know, but it's definitely not, no one's expecting you to do a full-length game in 10 days. That's not the expectation. So yeah, don't have to worry about that. It's better to actually make, like, you know, 10 minutes really fun instead of trying to squeeze out an hour demo that is just not that fun and engaging. And if you can manage to make it a fun loop, even better, of course. But okay, let's use, okay, I'm using 4. Let's have a look. Grenade. Grenade weapon. So the projectile does everything? Or is it... No, it's no impact, it's no material. Okay, that's interesting. So everything is just a projectile, is it? Yeah, it's nothing else. Okay. let's have a look. So not really sure where the explosion comes in yet. So we've got actions hit, we've got the explode here, but that's not the VFX. Then we've got hours, of course. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything on the projectile. Interesting. That's weird. So where does the explosion come from? Grenade weapon. Throw. Ah, there we go. I'm guessing these are their VFX. Yeah, okay, perfect. It took me a while to find that, but we got it. So grenade, so hit, and I'll use explosion 4. Just have to turn off looping. That's the only thing that I did not like, so we'll use 4. And then let's make sure looping is disabled. Okay, that's interesting. Let me save my scene. Okay. Let me unpack. Oh, no. Let me unpack that and just create a new one. Why do I keep pressing the same button? Prefab, unpack. There we go. Explosion 4 modified. And let's drag that in. Ah, okay. I think I see the issue now. That's why I couldn't save it. There's a missing script apparently on one of them. There we go. Maybe that's the URP script. Because if they're all packed like this and just work by default, gonna guess that's a URP script. The URP light script. That makes sense. Cool. Let's go back to the weapon, grenade. And there we go. So let's try it again. I know it's gonna look weird with the aiming. That's the next step, but G. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Cool. It's much simpler, but it works, and that's how it should be. So now let's have a look at the site. What do we need to change there? Because yeah, the site is definitely not what it should be. So let's have a look. So pistol top down, there we go. So going to duplicate the top down one and go from there, see what I need to change. So grenade. Sorry about the noise. Let's have a look. Grenade aim top down. Okay. That's how we call it. Let's have a look. Yeah, so basically the two problems is that the pistol, for example, has a proper normal idle, and then so we've got our idle, which is not the active one. So we've got an idle one where can shoot is false, and then we've got the, well, in my case, the top down one, which is here, which can shoot is true. So with the grenade, it's not set up like that, right? So with the grenade, it's the grenade side by default is just this, which we don't want. So that needs to be false. And then can shoot should be active in this one, of course, which we have. So I have some aim animations, but I'll need to, I think, mask those with like an arm in the air or something just for the grenade. So I'll need to figure something out. Because yeah, we need like walking animations where you're aiming and throwing the grenade. So need to figure that out. I don't even know if I have animations for that. I'll have a look. Anyway, so by default, the normal idle, I think I can mostly ignore for now. I don't think that's really relevant. I think it's just going to be this one. And we don't have a laser, so we can set that to false. And I'm guessing we only have we have a trajectory. Yeah, there we go. So let's true. And where's the conditions? Where did check conditions? There we go. Perfect. So yeah, let's copy those over because we do need the basics. And then okay. I'll use the laser one actually. I'm pretty sure we can use that. Laser line. I'm sure we can use that as a material. Red. There we go. Decimal as well. Let's keep it all quite similar. Perfect. Stretch view. Cool. Yeah, that all seems similar. Do we want a crosshair? Let's see if that actually works. I don't know if that works. That would be nice if we can use that. Let's see what happens. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen with this one, to be honest. So now if I equip it, it's gonna do the idle. Doing that still does something, but he can't shoot. Okay, we'll need to turn that off. And then if we aim, that's better. Okay, need to change the animations, of course, but okay, the grenade just went through everything. Need to change that line as well. He's throwing way too hard. Yeah, it's just going through everything. Okay, need to check those physics a bit. Okay. Yeah, it's just going through everything right now. That's a bit much. Okay, but at least we're slowly getting there. Yeah, okay, that's better. I think we're pretty fine actually with this, except for the animations. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I think it's pretty decent. Yeah, okay. Need to sort that out. That's the only thing I need to sort out is animations. I think the rectangle is even pretty cool. Gives a nice indication at least. We're just throwing it way too hard. That's the only downside. Cool. Let's have a look. I doubt I'm gonna have animations for that. Can we walk while we're doing that? If not, if we can disable walking at least while we're throwing the grenade. No, that's the wrong one. I'm pretty sure I can disable walking, and at least then the amount of animations will be better. I'm still not really sure why it's just going through everything. It's not really supposed to do that. There we go. That's better. Cool. Yeah, let's have a look. I'm not gonna show the screen with all my assets on it because I am ashamed of how much I've bought. So let's have a look. So, honestly, grenade animations. I don't think that's really even that common. I don't think I have anything like that. Yeah, I don't, or any throwing type animations, of course, because it's just throwing, but just don't think I have anything like that. Where would I throwing animations? There might be one. Okay, I'll have a look. Might be one animation pack I can think of that I own that has throwing. Yeah, there we go. Throwing animations. I knew I had something. Okay. No, that's not true. I didn't know that. I was just hoping. So we've got this. I've got this one, throwing animation pack. So it's not literally, you know, the most matching, but it's a throwing pack, which is pretty. At least it's not the best, but at least it's something. So I'll be using that one. Yeah. Cool. So let's see. For some reason, given that these packs, they're pretty cool, don't get me wrong, but they're also not the most expensive packs. So the chance of there being a full locomotion is not going to be that big. Highly doubt that, but maybe we don't need that. Can actually just disable in the throwing that we can move around maybe. Could do that. There we go. Where is it? There we go. Okay, can I have a look at the scene? Yeah, save. Cool. Let's have a look at what would fit for the throwing, if anything would actually fit. This might be, that might be fitting. Or this, yeah, I think this is going to be the best one. Okay, so let's throw spare. That's pretty cool. Yeah, as I expected, there's not going to be full locomotion, is there? So I'll need to figure out something else for that. So let's have a look. Spare throw, it's this one. I think that's pretty cool. And I might need to create the idle. Because yeah, that's just a regular idle where he's not. Okay, so I need to create an idle while we're aiming, basically. So based on this. So that means it's time for U motion again. If you don't have this asset to edit animations, U motion is amazing, absolutely amazing. So it allows you to easily, and when I say easily, I really do mean easily, edit animations. Doesn't mean it's not time consuming, of course, because it still takes some time to do this. But it's actually just really simple. You just don't need a lot of training to use this, and yeah, you can easily just edit, create your own animations. I've used this so much. Sometimes to edit, sometimes to create entirely new ones. So for example, here with the spear throw, we're going to use that state where he has his hand up to create an idle, and we could even do the full locomotion. Thanks, appreciate that. Yeah, let's try to do the full locomotion as well. Or no, let's just have him standing still. Actually, let's do that. Let's have him standing still while throwing the grenade. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's the whole reason I started doing the videos. Was, well, at the time, Game Creator 1, of course. There just weren't many videos. Because I was looking for videos when I started, because I just came off Unreal Engine, which now is like 4 years ago. I was looking for videos on Game Creator, couldn't really find much at the time, so I started doing them myself. There we go. So this I'm definitely more familiar with, so it's not quick, but I know how to use it. So basically, when you create a new project, decide humanoid generic. So I always do humanoids because that's the only ones I make. Then with Game Creator, you need to create, use the one with the animator on it. So that's what you drag in basically. Create configuration, don't need to change anything here. The only thing what you need to do is IK here, then you go to config mode and then IK setup wizard. I know it looks a bit unintuitive when you see it like this, but actually it is really great. Most of the time you won't have to do anything. If you're using the Game Creator model, you never have to do anything. It automatically just maps everything. And you're done. That's literally your setup. Go back to pose mode and start importing your clips. So I always do FK to IK conversion, add clip. So we're using the spare throw 1. Okay, So this is the one. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then basically we need to create an idle, so I'll duplicate it. Throwing grenade idle. Let's just do it like that. And then literally create a idle. So basically decide in which part, I think this looks pretty okay. Maybe this frame. Yeah, this frame is fine. Okay. Yeah, this frame's fine. Okay, I'll use this frame. Now in this case, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to drag this over the original, just in case there's some keyframes that these ones don't have, just so I have everything. I'm going to literally remove everything else. Now, even if it's an idle, you still want him to move a tiny bit. It's not really necessary, but it looks, well, it looks more realistic. Then select the 2 feet, IK pint. Oh, need to do generate, sorry. IK pint, there we go. And what IK pin means is that the feet are basically stuck. So then we put this at 1 second. And then here in the middle, you select the hips. And then as you can see, because the feet are pinned, basically the feet stay in place. Even if you stretch it out too much, it'll try to keep the feet in place. So what we do here, let's turn off the grid stuff and let's have him go down slightly, not too much. And then when we loop, let's have him loop. At least he's not completely standing still. It still looks like, you know, there's a tiny bit of life. Maybe the looping is, maybe let's do 2 seconds. And yeah, it's just kind of like a breathing thing. And then of course you can do it much more complex, but I'll try to keep it simple. Maybe have the head move a tiny bit. Maybe that was not enough. Okay, and then even the shoulder, just move it a tiny bit. Maybe that's not enough, but there we go, something like this. And then basically, you know, it makes it a bit more animated. Like, you know, you're standing still in that position, so it makes sense to, you know, basically move around a bit, that he's not just completely static. And there we go. And then we have our idle animation for throwing. Let's just use that. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now just have to see, like, should we allow the player to walk while he's doing this? I'm not really sure, because that becomes more of an issue if that's the case. And then export clip. It's the first clip I've done, so I don't have a location yet. So let's just do animations. Yeah, let's just do the default folder. Already have the name. Loop. There we go. And then export, and that's it. And then, you know, this way you create your own animations. Now the nice thing is, because especially if you're gonna mess around with animations a lot, it's just do clear, and you can just keep the windows open, and there you have it. So now we have our own animation, and it's a basic one, but at least, you know, we didn't have an idle. Now we have an idle. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Normally, I mean, yeah, sometimes there will be slight differences. That's a fair point, especially if you're using Cinti. Then definitely get the model in first, because Cinti characters don't actually have fingers, for example. It's not just a model, they literally don't have the finger bones in the rig either. Most models, however, will have pretty much the same humanoid rig with very little variations. So normally this is fine. However, if you're using Cinti, then I definitely suggest popping in the Cinti model first, so you properly do the animation based on the rig, because yeah, they just have less bones, so that's kind of an issue. So definitely worth doing that first. Yeah, cool. So we've got our throwing idle. Now I'm gonna need to see what I'm going to do with this, because yeah, that's kind of the thing, is, you know, we've got our sides, but yeah, how are we gonna do this? So right now I have the full animation state, and we've got an idle. What I could do is basically this is going to layer on top of this one, so I could have a normal walking idle and then basically layer this on top. Let's actually try that out. This one it is. So I'll use the default state. Now the problem is how that is going to look with the actual with the mask animation over it. I'm not really sure, so we'll need to find out. But yeah, let's see. And then sights, where is it? Grenade, aim. Let's do a basic state. So the reason I still prefer doing like states instead of just the animation clip when I get the chance is because you can, oh, need that space there. That's my OCD kicking in. You basically need these controls, like is controllable, for example. We're gonna try turning that off, so we can't actually we can't jump and we can't walk while we're doing this. Yeah, let's see if that works, and then we'll throw in our new animation. So there we go. Yeah, let's see if this works. If not, we'll try something else. Where is it? Sights. Aim top down. There we go. So we'll do the grenade. Yeah, perfect. And yeah, let's actually have a look. Let's see if this works. Okay, so okay, that does kind of work. I'll change the throw animation to match. But yeah, that kind of works. It's not ideal. I mean, ideally I'd create an entire locomotion, but yeah, this could work. This could work. It's definitely not perfect though, but it is what it is. I think the throw force is actually way too high. What do you mean to stop the animation while in the air? Oh, you mean like the air physics stuff? If you want to do like air combos or anything like that, if that's what you mean. There actually is a good example for that in the melee examples. I'd recommend actually trying that one out. because it's yeah, like I said, it's actually a good one. Okay, let's have a look, because I would like that to change that throw animation as well. There we go. What is it? Spare. There we go. I can check. I don't think I actually need to mask it, but we'll have a look. Oh, that's the gun. Yeah, that looks so weird. Okay, let's turn off masking. Let's turn that off. Okay. Ah, there we go. I see what's wrong. So time to open up UMotion one more time and drag in that player. So the problem is it's now playing the entire animation including from when we put the hand backwards, etc., etc. It's not supposed to do that. So duplicate that again. Grenade. Throw. Okay, that's a really different name. Throwing grenade idle. Okay, let's change the name. Throwing grenade shoot. Let's just call it that. There we go. So yeah, here we took this frame basically. I think this is the frame we took, right? Or a bit higher. Yeah, that's close enough. Okay, so we need to start at 15 and throw it. There we go. And then let's see if we can add a small delay. Perfect. Export my current clip. Yeah, Cascadeur is amazing. Like, it's actually really good. I mean, I think that's more for creating entire animations. I think UMotion for just editing animations and doing what I'm doing, for example, now. I think UMotion is amazing. I feel like for things like this, it's just much faster. So yeah, I definitely, yeah, I would choose UMotion most of the time. But yeah, if you want to create entire parkour, jumping around animations, whatever, Cascadeur is obviously way more advanced. Yeah, different use cases, I guess. Cool. Let's make sure our animation is set up correctly. So here, no throwing. There we go. Okay, so now I need to see. We've got like 15 frame delay before we actually throw it. I would like to add that though. Let's see if we can do that. If not, I'll need to change it again. Hope we can do it. So let's drag in our own. There we go. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's charging. Not really seeing where you can do like a delay after you let go or something. Maybe I'm wrong. Auto release duration. not really seeing any of that. I'll need to see how to do that. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be right back. Cool. I'm back. So let's see how this throwing worked. Can't remember if I already tested it or not. Let's have a look. Cool. Oh yeah, I need a little delay. So let's have a look. I'm pretty sure we can add that delay when we with the instructions. So trigger grenade. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, we have a magazine. On start, let's add a little on start for now. No, not a not a whiskey break. No, I just needed to help out a bit. Let's have a look. Ammo. Oh, magazine. What was it? Already have it on the equip here. Munition. There we go. Looking for munition. Grenade weapon. Let's give him 3 for now, just for testing. Cool. Awesome. So grenade weapon. So we're adding the projectile. Yeah. So this has the triggers. Okay. So release. Okay. So let's do a weight frame. Let's see if that works. Not sure because it might not play the animation then. So that would be an additional issue. If that's the case, I'll do it differently. I'll just do a gesture. Let's see if that works. Well, that didn't seem to work. Okay, what's wrong here? Okay, let's have a quick look. Pretty sure we can just do that in runtime. Weapons. Grenade weapon. Okay, that was one of my cats. Let's see. Is this the issue? Yeah, okay, that seems to be the issue. Okay. We'll look at that later. Okay, so those 15 frames don't seem to do anything. That's definitely annoying. So, okay, let's have a look. That's annoying. Yeah, that's definitely annoying. That's better, by the way. That looks much better. Yeah, the only problem is the throwing. So either needs to do it straight away or there has to be a delay. No, we can't do any delays here. No delays whatsoever. That kinda sucks. Let's have a look. Maybe on shoot. Doesn't do anything. Okay. Can be parried. Oh, that's a nice touch. Never noticed actually. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of an issue. So I'll need to change the throwing animation to throwing straight away. That looks weird though. That looks kind of strange. like the root motion, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be a delay option. Okay, that's annoying. Let's try something else. I'll keep that here. Let's do gesture, play gesture. Because these are prefabs, we can just do it here in runtime. Won't cause any issues. Animation, throw. Let's try that. Root motion. Release, and then on the weapon, we'll get. Oh, let's see if we can get rid of the shooting animation. Try to see if that works. Okay, now it's not playing at all anymore. Why is it not? That's interesting. Okay, need to figure out why it's not doing that. That's weird. You think this would work, right? Player, yeah. Okay, so okay, that's interesting. So that won't work. So okay. Okay, fair enough. If that's not gonna work, then I'll need to try something else. Yeah, I'll just need to modify the animation again, so it works directly. Kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. Okay, let's see how that works. Export current clip. Should just override it, so let's see. Yeah, no, not really what I wanted to do here, but let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not great, not perfect, but fair enough. Let's change the state. I'm spending too much time on this, so I need to get over it. And let's add that root motion. There we go. And it definitely looks a bit weird though. Like we're missing something. Let's get back. Oops. I'm going to duplicate this one more time. No, actually, let's just cut this in. maybe all the way here. Maybe that will work. Okay, let's try it like that. Export current clip. Then let's have the clear. Let's have the delay be smaller. So like this. Let's try it again, and then I'll pause with the animation stuff for now, because yeah, it needs to work. Now, one of the things I'll most likely need to do is, because we're changing, because we're changing if we can move or not while we're doing this. Okay, that does seem to work. Okay, explosion is definitely a bit too big for a grenade. But yeah, we'll adjust that. Cool. Okay, it's a decent start. Yeah, the explosion is way too strong. Cool, but that's fine. At least it's working, and it's... yeah, that looks better. Okay, cool. Good enough for now. Not perfect, but good enough for now. So now that we've done that, so basically come to realize that I'll need to be grouping a lot of things. So we've got pillar root, and we've got, do we have another root here? No. Okay, we'll do this one. So we'll replace those with my prefabs. Prefabs fractured pillar. The bottom, let's drag that in. Seems like I made a mistake with that fracture. Got the pillar. Yeah, okay, I made a mistake with that fracture. So let's do that again. That's a shame. Did I do that one incorrectly as well? I did that one incorrectly as well. Okay, so we'll get rid of these. I did the root right, but I didn't do this one right. So ray fire, shatter. Maybe just shatter. There we go. So it's a small one, so let's do 8 pieces. Concrete. Which one was it again? I think it was... I don't remember. I think it was road concrete. Let's have a look. Okay, 0.1 and then fragment. Then let's disable this for now. Cool. No, that's the wrong one. Okay, let's have a look. Just this one, maybe? Yeah, I think it's this one. There we go. Cool. Let's do that again. Fragment. Disable this one, and let's check one of these pieces. Yeah, that's better. Cool. So now let's make sure I do it in the right order this time around, because maybe that's what caused an issue. So export. Pillar bottom. And okay, pillar bottom. There we go. That seems like a better match. Oh, let's have a look real quick. Cool. So yeah, that's a new piece. Can get rid of this, and then the original. Let's do bottom part. There we go. Cool. So yeah, now I'll do the same as with that wall. I'll basically combine these into one piece. So I'm using Rayfire and I'm pre-fracturing. That's for performance, so you don't have to pre-fracture, but if you have a lot of destructibles, and basically that's the point of this game, most of it will be, when you pre-fracture, the performance will be better. So it looks like one piece, but they're already small pieces. And then the scripting is what keeps them together, like this one. So if I play right now, for example, and I go get my gun and I'm shooting this, then not doing a lot of damage with the pistol, but you know, as you can see, it's starting to break it up into smaller pieces, so they're basically held together, and then yeah, it's collapsing and basically acting the way it should be. So pretty cool. Obviously a normal pistol wouldn't do this, but it's a game, right? So yeah, I'm pre-fracturing and then holding those pieces together with these scripts. That's kind of the idea. Cool, so let's... nice one. Yeah, you always have a lot of dialogue. Dialogue is definitely not my biggest strength. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is because there's so many, I think it would be better to have this as a parent. Let's turn snap back on. No, I need the 0.1. There we go. There we go. It needs to be kind of in the middle. I'm pretty sure this is the middle, right? Cool. Let's unpack. Then I'm going to get rid of everything. Yeah, seems about right. And then these two will be children. There we go. Wait, let's do it the other way around. Let's pillar root. Okay. There we go, and now I'll make them children. I want to make sure it's centered. Then unpack these. Yeah, you can definitely use it for smaller things like that as well. You can use it for a lot. The performance is, well, as good as can be. You know, it's in the end, it's still Unity's physics engines that will dictate a lot of the performance. I mean, there's very little that can be done about that. But yeah, in general, performance is really good though. Pillar, full pillar. And then the unyielding needs to be a bit bigger. 1.2. 1.2. No, 1.4. There we go. Cool. Yeah, and that's a nice thing. So these scripts basically do the rest. So connectivity holds all of these pieces together, but they need to be direct children. Just tried it without, and it doesn't really seem to work if they're not direct children. And then yeah, it kind of seems to all work pretty well together. The debris is just for the effects, and same with the dust. Cool. Let's try this out. So let's drop this into pillars. Got a full one. Okay, then here. No, let's just get rid of these and just duplicate this one. Perfect. Let's see. Normally now it should all just work exactly the same. If we shoot it and explode it, and well, I know if this works, then I can just basically do the rest as well. Cool, yeah. I'll add some stronger guns and basically do more damage and more impact, but yeah, it works pretty well. And I think if I just need the grenade to I need the grenade to not throw as hard, like it's throwing really hard. Yeah, it seems to impact both. That looks good. That looks really cool. Actually looks kind of how I wanted it to look, to be fair. Okay, that's a bit much, but it works. Impacts both. And yeah, awesome. Cool. Yeah, maybe the force is a bit too much, etc. But yeah, it works. So that's nice. Door root. So this is tricky because obviously we need the door to also be a door that actually works. But then, yeah, still not sure how I'm gonna make that work. Let's have a look. So let's add a trigger. On trigger, enter. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. That's too big. 2.5. There we go. Maybe a bit bigger as well. 2.5. Let's do that. Okay. Not sure why my axis is a bit strange, but oh well. Then let's make sure that's a trigger. Player. On enter. Well, that's the thing. Obviously, the trigger has to be child of the trigger instead. Let's see check conditions. Transform, what is it? Change position. Local position. And how high should it go? Here or something? Yeah. Okay, 2.3. Let's do that. I'm not sure what's wrong with my axis. Everything was looking a bit funky. Everything seems off. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, 2.5 up. Add 2.3 up, sorry. 2.3. Let's do 1 second. It's sci-fi, so it has to be pretty quick. And then check condition. Let's have a look. We basically need to check if the player is still inside of the trigger area. I'm sure there has to be something for that, right? Trigger or something, collider. Okay, yeah, it should be this one. Not sure how this works. Let's have a look. And otherwise, so if it's not, then it should go back down again. Not really sure how this one works, actually. It looks really interesting. Yeah, not sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's what we're trying to avoid. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure actually. It's a bit strange. Pretty sure there's my camera's off now. I'm not sure. Yeah, it seems to be a bit off. Yeah, definitely seems to be a bit off. Let's have a look. Let's try something else. Return no. I'm sure it's this, but I don't really get how this works. I don't know. Let's try it the opposite way. Based on the description, it seems to be that this is definitely the trigger. Okay. So that's true. That's not true. But then it won't run. Okay. So, might have a better idea. Let's try it this way. Let's see if that works. Run instructions. Run actions. Wait to finish. Let's see if it works if we do it this way. This is already failing. I wanted to do something really simple, and it seems to be the opposite of really simple. There we go. Yeah, I know on exit it would work. Yeah, I was trying to avoid adding another trigger, and I'm just overcomplicating things for no reason. Oh well. Anyway, now I'm still curious to see if this works though. Because normally if it doesn't complete... Okay, overcomplicating things for no reason. Fair enough. You were right, I should have just done it the easy way. I don't know why. Okay. Trigger exit. And then do this. And yeah, Cool. I thought the moment, it'll check, wait to finish, and it will check, and then the moment you're out, it would just do it. But yeah, okay, well, that works. Okay, there's definitely an issue there. We're too fast, it will start doing the other one. Okay. That's annoying. Do we have enough time? Otherwise, yeah, this is the transform action. It's the transform instruction. And now it works perfectly, but if we're moving too fast, it won't. Yeah, so that's the problem if we're too fast. But now we were so fast that we're going through it, so that shouldn't work anyway. Because we still need to add the collider to the door. Because obviously you can also shoot the door for whatever reason. Yeah, okay, let's just do it like that. Cool, so the door, same thing, we'll need to add the shatter. Now I'm just wondering like how I can make that work properly with the whole connection thing. But yeah. Fine, let's copy these over. Full pillar. Yeah, that's fair. I could use markers. I kind of want it to be fluent though, without using markers. Maybe if I add weight, a weight until it will work. I don't know. Let's see. Connectivity. And no unyielding for this one. Actually makes no sense. Let's apply them. I don't think unyielding should be used for this, but I just need to see what the reaction is. Okay, that works fine. Now here's the issue. It will try to still go up. I think that might be a slight issue. Is it actually still going up if I don't shoot on it because of the physics I'm adding to it? Not sure. Yeah, that's actually damaging the door. Okay, that's interesting. So this one, the door, that's interesting. Because right now, obviously, it's going to collide with this, right? So it's not literally going through a hole. So physics work, but then the physics also break it straight away because now it's broken and the door won't work anymore. Cool. So let's have a look. So by default, it's inactive. Can I see when it turns active? Does that show? Okay, let's have a look. So impact. I need to find a way to work with the impact. Maybe I'll actually need to create a hole so it can actually just properly go through it. I'm not sure. Okay, that's something for later. Let's do this one now. So I think these two I can combine as well, together with the root pillars. So let's do a shutter again. Concrete. And what was it? Road, this one, road concrete A, 0.1. Yes, like 7 pieces or something. There we go. Export. Door, pillar, bottom. That's a long name. There we go. Let's copy this over. Cool. Let's save this one. Nice. So even though this looks the same, this is actually a bit thinner, which is why it's a different prefab. It doesn't have the same width as the other one, so looks similar, it's just not the same. There we go. And then yeah, as a child. Perfect. Cool. Can get rid of this one. Of course. There we go. Oh, shouldn't have done that. Cool. So yeah, we got these two pieces, these and this. Need to drag them all together, and we're going to make one of that again as well. I'll do the same thing here. I'll use, to not replicate stuff, I'll use this one here. So full wall. Let's just do 0.1 here. There we go. Of course. Cool. Unpack. Let's have a look. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Cool, I'm back. So yeah, I just put them all together real quick. I kept the same unyielding. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the door at all, if it does. Given that it's not a child, so it shouldn't. But yeah, I'm a bit curious. So I'll place this here as well. Now where's the door? Yeah, I'm curious how that's gonna work together. So let's have a look. Slightly concerned that unyielding still might get in the way, but not sure. I think the best test is definitely going to be shooting it. Okay, that broke everything nicely. Now let's see if the door even goes up, if that unyielding is there. Otherwise I'll need to make two small ones. Yeah, I don't think that's the unyielding. I think that's just the door, the collision. So yeah, I'll need to think how to do this with the whole physics collision things. I'm actually not sure. Might actually have to create a physical opening for this. Yeah, I might have to do that. Which obviously is is really annoying. Yeah, I'm not sure. Just not sure. But yeah, damn. That's for later. Let's do the floors as well. I'll think of something for that later. Let's do the floors. So need to be able to destroy those as well. Now here comes the complexity with the whole unyielding stuff. I'll need to figure out, can I have multiple sort of grouped together? I have no clue. So let's just copy over some stuff. So this one. There we go. Let's do it the proper way. The dust. Yeah, I don't think I can select multiple scripts straight away to copy, because that's the thing. I also need the values, so I can't just drag and drop them. There we go. And then connectivity, I think so as well. I think it's better if we do that. Cool. So I just did the prefab, so now all of these should have it. So let's see how that works. I'll go from the side because I know the door is the door for now is messed up. I have a transparency asset for that as well, so I'll use that. It's breaking a bit too quick though. Yeah, that's definitely too quick. It shouldn't break this fast. So I'll need to change the health values, because yeah, this is all breaking way too quick. Same with collision, it shouldn't have this effect if I walk through it, that everything splits up. That seems pretty fine. Then just for fun, let's throw a grenade in there. Explosion force is way too high as well. Yeah, it's already fun to at least destroy stuff. So just need to figure out some of the issues here. So I'm gonna have a look, one last look here to see if there's a demo that basically shows, you know, the whole connectivity with, oh, if there's multiple assets basically. Let's have a look. So here, as you can see, they just put everything in one, so it's like it's basically 400 something pieces into one. Might end up having to do that. I hope not. Yeah, I actually hope not, but yeah, maybe I'll have to maybe I'll actually just have to do that and put it all together. I don't think there's a way for connectivity to put that together, but let's give it a try. Let's actually see if something like that works, and that'll be it for me for today. Nope. Let's have a look. I've got all of these pieces now. This one, this house, or whatever it is. Cool. So these are all the pieces that actually have scripts. Let's see if that could work. I don't think so. It actually does seem to. Okay, let's have a quick look. That's actually nice. It actually is recognizing everything. That would be cool. I'll try with a grenade. Oh. Yeah, that seems to be a solution. Okay, that was much quicker than I expected. I'll need to change the damage, but as you can see, it actually is structurally holding it together, despite what I just did. That is actually awesome. Okay, that's well, there we go. That was much simpler than I expected. So yeah, you can actually have a the joint. I can see it's still work in progress, but it actually works. That's cool. Let's see how it works with shooting. I'll try that as well instead of just blowing stuff up straight away. Where the grenade. Yeah, the force definitely seems to be a bit too big. I'll need to adjust that. Because things crack really quickly. And that's a trigger still trying to mess things up. Pretty cool. But yeah, this is the important part. As you can see, this got damaged, but it didn't just fall down straight away. The connectivity is actually holding it together pretty well. And that was the most important part. And now, just for fun, I'm going to blow stuff up, because, you know, it's kind of the goal here. Might have thrown that too far. Nice. Yeah, cool. I mean, this is literally is working the way it should. The only thing is, yeah, the explosion force. I think it's actually the combination of the grenade also having some game creator physics to it. Let's have a quick look at that real quick. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, there's some options to have them disappear or things like that, increase the mass. Because yeah, right now these are like, there's hundreds of pieces here, right? There's, because everything is like a small piece. But the connectivity is trying to hold it together as if it's a full structure. It's failing a bit, of course, because there's no full walls yet, but it's doing a pretty good job. Can't complain too much. Wait, what was I doing? Yeah, let's check the grenade real quick. Because right now we're on the projectile, we're yeah, we're adding quite a bit of force here. Let's reduce that a bit. Try to see if that's a bit better. It should be an explosive, don't get me wrong, but you know, one grenade shouldn't blow up the entire neighborhood. Although I'm pretty sure in Red Faction it did. Yeah, this is my issue. The one impact already, you know, impacts everything, but yeah, this is at least it's cool as hell. Still way too much. Okay, I'll adjust that. And of course I'll make everything collidable. Cool. Guys, that's it for this stream. This was a lot of fun to do. It's literally been a year since I streamed, so thanks for watching, and good luck with your own submissions, everyone.